It gives me great pleasure to see all the employees under one roof and such a historical place in uniform, and अच्छा लग रहा है. I'm sure all of you also must be feeling same. There is an old saying that nothing grows under banyan tree. But whatever has grown at this place is from under the banyan tree. So it's been for 140 years, and a lot of people have contributed. An organization is nothing but a group of people working together for a common goal, with commitment, with consistency, with dedication. So today is a foundation day. And to commemorate this historical event, we are all gathered here. We are happy to have our chairman amongst us. And with these few words, I welcome you all, one and all. And I request you to please stand up for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. I request Sri Ramadurai sir to please come out to the dais and address the gathering.
Very good morning to all of you. I wanted to start by congratulating each and every one of you and the people who have been a part of this great institution for the last 140 years, whom we remember, which has shaped the entire market structure of this country. I think 140 years in the history of any institution is something which very few achieve, even though they wanted to live and continue to enhance its prestige in the international community. Now, having seen the evolution of this great institution from 1875 and then establishing a legacy which only improves with time, makes all of us proud on this great day, and we must really be thankful to every one of them who has shaped this, including each and every one of you. I think any celebration, we must always remember the value systems and the ethics and the culture of an institution. And as time goes by, we should only enhance it day in and day out. Every morning when we get up and come to a place like this, or any institution which we are a part of, we must ask ourselves the fundamental question: have I lived the value systems which this institution was originally meant to be? And am I enhancing the value systems which this institution is going to remember for time immemorial? So my advice to you and each one of you would be to make sure that we dedicate ourselves to the ethical and the value systems which we all cherish, which we all believe in, which we all practice, and only enhance it day in and day out. How it happens is only by caring, sharing, nurturing, and institutionalizing the knowledge and institutionalizing the best practices that are part of any institution. The more you enhance knowledge, the more you have access to it, and the more access you have, the more contribution you can make to it, not only for ourselves but for the community at large, who are dependent on it, the companies that are listed here who are dependent on us. And we must make sure that every single BSC employee exhibits and dedicates and shows by his behavior, her behavior, on what we are and how we conduct ourselves without any question. I think this institution has the largest number of companies listed in the world, and we have gone through a major upgradation of technology in the last couple of years, and we are very, very proud of what we did with the technology, including the original technologies which came here subsequently got enhanced, and today how it's performing and how it is likely to perform in the future. I think the other second point which I wanted to absolutely remember and be clear is the growth in an inclusive manner and a very equitable wealth creation or possibility of wealth creation for one and all. And we create those upward social mobilities, and that's what capital markets are supposed to do. I think this was the first stock exchange in Asia, as most of you may know, and we need to keep continuously innovating and reinventing ourselves day in and day out. Again, we carry that responsibility because that's what shapes the future rather than living in the past. And it's our responsibility to shape the future by innovation, by pushing ourselves that extra mile in a collaborative way so that that vision is translated into action on the ground. I think a journey of 140 years, like I said, is almost 14 decades, which has been absolutely inspiring and satisfying, and a book was released some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, in this great hall. I think all of you must read that, and all of you must enhance it because it's history, it's a living history, it's not a one-time capture of the events that have taken place. So when we go into the 15th decade of our existence, which is not very far because 150 years would be another remarkable achievement very soon, and the absolute compliance in corporate governance, the value systems, the ethics, and a fair opportunity to every single investor who are part of this institution, and whether they are small, medium, big, large, it doesn't matter at all. I think the small and medium enterprises which form the bulk of this nation, which are going to be the engine of growth, which are going to be the engine of employment creation, which are going to be the engine of entrepreneurship in this nation, needs an enormous amount of support, and the SME exchange, which we dedicated ourselves to build the platform and started listing the companies, again with the proper governance and ethical practices, is another milestone event, and that's another thing which is absolutely critical. So it's a very friendly environment for an entrepreneur, for a small and medium enterprise, and they move from an unorganized to an organized sector and understand the rules of the game, and who knows, some of them may get into the larger listing itself, but they will raise the equity to fuel their growth and, more importantly, create the employment or possibility of entrepreneurship for one and all. So all I wanted to say, we will explore new frontiers, we will dedicate ourselves to pushing ourselves through innovation, through technology, through human resource inputs. Please make best use of what is available. Sky is the limit, but it's you who is responsible for making it happen, because we can provide a platform, we can provide an enabling environment, but at the end of the day, each of us carry the responsibility to take where each and every one of us rightfully belong. All the very best. Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. As we all drive cars, we see the rear view mirror and also look at the front. So that's what probably happens when we have such a rich history and then culture. We all, human resources, we promise under your able leadership, guidance, along with Ashish Chauhan. So we will all rededicate and experience the new going forward. Now, whatever we achieve within in-house, it's very good. But sometimes we also like some of the known people, neighbors, appreciating also. So we have some illustrious leaders of the country also saying good words about this great organization. There is an AV, audio-visual. So your attention to the audio-visual.
किसी भी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में जितने ट्रांजैक्शंस हों उनकी विश्वसनीयता हो, नियमों के अनुसार हों और स्वायत्त और स्वतंत्र रूप से हों। इसी से व्यवसाय और व्यापार की और विशेष रूप से सिक्योरिटीज के व्यापार की विश्वसनीयता बढ़ती है, उसका विस्तार होता है। मुंबई स्टॉक एक्सचेंज एशिया का सबसे पहला स्टॉक एक्सचेंज था और एक बहुत लंबे अवधि काल से इस देश के आर्थिक जगत में अपनी एक प्रमुख भूमिका निभा रहा है। कई ऐसे अर्थव्यवस्था संबंधित गतिविधियां, बाजार से के साथ कॉरपोरेट जगत को जोड़ना, अर्थव्यवस्था को जोड़ना, ये एक प्रमुख भूमिका मुंबई स्टॉक एक्सचेंज ने बनाई है और इसका महत्व भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए बहुत अधिक है। जितने भी लोगों ने पिछले 140 वर्ष में इस स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का ये अस्तित्व बनाने में भूमिका निभाई है, मैं उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं और आगे के लिए मुंबई स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को अपनी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
It's very heartening to know that BSE, a very premier financial institution in the country, is going to celebrate 140 years. It's a long journey, but did in a very remarkable manner. I know India needs huge capital. We need equity, we need debt, we need lot of savings to be brought into the capital market, and all of that needs institutions like the stock exchanges. And if we have an exchange which is completely screen-based, which is completely automated, and which is now has a very old history, is something which can really make that process faster and better. I know BSE was corporatized some years ago, and now it has become a corporate entity. It is no longer controlled or something which people used to always say that only the brokers deal with it. The brokers are, of course, a very important component of it, very important stakeholders, important participants, but not necessarily the only ones who drive it. There is a professional board, there is a professional institution which runs it. So we are very happy to know that such a strong institution, probably one of the oldest in Asia, is something which is working here in this particular manner. I look forward to BSE playing a very important role in the years to come. We need to develop secondary debt market if you want to raise resources for a long-term period. We need an institution like BSE to bring in foreign pension funds into India and make them work in a proper manner. There are a large number of FIIs who are working in India needs an institution like BSE. So I think we have a long way to go in terms of realizing India's dream of becoming a developed country. For that to happen, we need many things to be put in place. One of them will be institutions like BSE, and I'm very happy that an institution which is robust, forward-looking, has such a checkered and very distinguished past like BSE. I'll offer them my best wishes.
I'm delighted. One of the oldest exchanges in Asia, and over the years has played a very important role bringing wealth to investors in investor education, helping young entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs build up capital for growth, for setting up new businesses. And over the years, I've seen this immense opportunity that Bombay Stock Exchange brought to people for jobs, people for industrial development of India, They channelize savings of crores of people into the stock exchange. Over the years, this has been the marketplace for India's investment. Management of Bombay Stock Exchange has remained in very illustrious hands. I'm sure going forward with the introduction of modern technology in the exchange, gone are the days when we used to have thousands of brokers around Dalal Street. All of that has moved into computers and very high quality of technology. I'm sure with the advent of better and better tools, also better surveillance and ethics management of the institution, this will continue to provide high quality investor protection. It will continue to be an avenue for capital formation, and it will continue to serve the economy of India in the years to come.
The BSE for celebrating 140 glorious years. The BSE has been at the center of many of India's most important economic milestones. And now, as we are poised for dramatic growth and acceleration in the next 5 or 10 years, I think the BSE will be a very important contributor to that growth as well. As I've said many times, I believe that we are poised to grow 7, 8, 9% for the next 10 or 15 years. And if we are to do so, we are going to be in a situation where our economy is going to go from a $2 trillion economy to a $4 or $5 trillion economy. And because market cap to GDP, listed and unlisted, tends to be 1:1, as our economy becomes a $4 or $5 trillion economy, market cap is also going to become $4 or $5 trillion. If we are $2 trillion right now, and over the next 10 or 15 years we go to $4 or $5 trillion, we're going to add $3 trillion to market cap. And the last decade or so, we've added $1 trillion. The next decade or so, we are likely to add $2 or $3 trillion. So what's going to happen in terms of volumes, in terms of wealth creation, I think is going to be unprecedented in India's history. And I'm sure the BSE will play a very significant and important role, just like it has been doing for the last 140 years. The BSE, of course, has been a terrific market in terms of price discovery, in terms of flawless execution, and in terms of cost of transaction. And that's because it has invested massively in technology, it has invested massively in capabilities, and because of those reasons, I think the BSE will continue to be at the center of economic and market activity going forward.
These proud moments are possible with able leadership, and now I request Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan to come and address the gathering. And thank you, Ashish, for thinking about this and providing warmth to all the human resources.
Respected Chairman BSE, Shri S. Ramdurai, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and honor to be here in front of you again. 140 years back on this very day, the stepping stone for BSE, formerly known as Bombay Stock Exchange, was laid down. It was on this very day that an institution like ours was born. I am flattered and humbled to be present here today to join all of you on this remarkable day. On this day, I want to congratulate each and every one of you who are present here and also who are working in their offices. A very happy Foundation Day. This is an occasion to reflect on our achievements, to acknowledge the good work we have done, and to resolve to face new challenges. As our chairman says, we have to shape the future. Since its inception, BSE has offered an efficient capital raising platform to companies in India. Today morning, we celebrated capital raising once again by listing a company called Manpasand Beverages Limited. What better way to celebrate and start a 140th birthday than listing a new company? From the time I came under the BSE umbrella, I've always had the most amazing feeling and I voice the sentiment of many here. It has been like the roof on our heads, the duvet to our souls, and the benchmark of all our achievements over these years. Today, BSE is rightly looked upon as the economic barometer of India's capital markets. Every single day that goes by adds to the history and the story of BSE. There is evidence in the fact that any great institution was never built in a day. The older the institution, the more profound are its values and the ethos. BSE has worked its way through to becoming the fastest and most trusted institution in India. BSE is older than Indian National Congress. Over the last 140 years, BSE has offered an efficient capital raising platform to companies in India. History of BSE can be traced back to 1950s when a group of 5 stockbrokers conducted meetings under the banyan tree in front of Mumbai Town Hall, which is now known as Asiatic Library. These few men who started out way back were the forefathers who nurtured the dream of BSE, reaching newer heights and achieving what it has become today. They had faith in the future and knew that if fundamentals innards of BSE are strong, then there is no looking back. They raised the brand with utmost faith, determination, dedication, sincerity, integrity, and a mix of values that has helped BSE reach where it is today. There is an old saying, we are who we constantly associate with. None of what we see today would be remotely possible without the constant support, drive, zeal, enthusiasm, hard work, dedication, and innovation that you all have put in to your work day in and day out. It's you who have gotten together to raise the bar. BSE is what you and I have got together and may have made it to be. And let me tell you just one more thing here. This is the only beginning. We have a long way to go before we retire. We have many more milestones to achieve, many more feats to accomplish, many more accolades to add to our historic moments, many more feathers to add to our cap. This is just the beginning. BSE has come a long way. There are changes that this great institution has seen. Changes that have shaped the country, shaped its employees and better individuals, and will continue to shape the future of so many who will be part of BSE and India in future. There is a significant difference in the BSE that was founded in 1850s and the BSE of today. The differences, as evident, are not only in the processes and systems, but also in the whole dynamics of this institution. BSE has evolved and is looked upon as the benchmark for an ethical and transparent institution, with highest and the best practices adopted and put in place. There are many constructive changes in BSE that have turned the spotlight on India, and the eyes of almost all nations, including the developed countries, are on us. I dwell on these differences of the past because they emphasize the contrast between the past and the current as well as future. I want to share my dream for BSE with you and want to encourage you to join me in realizing this dream. As we walk ahead, entering the 15th decade of our existence now, the vision of BSE is that it must be recognized as a standard bearer of wealth creation the world over. It must be recognized as the most compliant exchange in the country and in the world. It must be known for its transparency, absolute compliance in corporate governance, clear separation of regulatory norms and operations of the exchange itself. It must give a fair shot, a fair chance to all investors, irrespective of their size or nature or their speed, and offer them the best financial products. The history of an important institution like BSE has to be showcased for the public. Proactive dissemination of information has been our constant endeavor. Despite the constraints attached with the sensitive nature of work handled by BSE, we have been bringing as much transparency as possible in our working. BSE has come a long way and is an institution under continuous transformation. It is through the recalibration of people, processes, and methods which combine together, integrate the functioning of the institution under a robust technology backbone, very necessary in this era of extremely fast trading with differentiated product. There is no happiness in walking alone. Happiness, when shared, is true happiness. It gives me great pleasure and immense joy to be here today amid the young workforce that forms the driving force behind BSE, and also the deep-rooted, long-standing members who have all come together, who will be celebrating it in the evening. The exchange is constantly looking to explore newer frontiers of the financial market, giving its customers a faster and technologically advanced experience. BSE's tagline certainly stands true to itself, experience the new. BSE will continue to endeavor to help India create wealth and also ensure that the savings of the country gets channelized more efficiently through capital markets. Lastly, whatever we do has to be the most compliant, most ethical, and in the interest of the nation. BSE is the life of the nation, and all of us have to prove that every day in our life and our working and our behavior. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashish. I can only say, just to sum it up, Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu. That's what we are grown in this country. Let's all work together for the common prosperity and enlightenment. We are sure we are all with you in this journey to go into the future. I request our chairman and then managing director, both of them, to come out to the dais along with the other colleagues, senior colleagues, to cut the cake to commemorate the event. Please join the other senior colleagues. Won 34 years of service. Thank you, Tushar. Devika Shah, she's on leave, I'm told. Otherwise, she's 86 with 29 years of service. Please give her a big hand. And Rajesh Ghadi. 1st June 1983 with 32 years of service. And Parul Kothari. 1st April 1986, 29 years of service. Harichandra Pawar. Please give me a big hand. Mr. Tavde, please come on to the desk. 1st June 1981, 34 years of service. Charmaine Fernandez, are you here? 5th November 1984, 31 years. Please come. Now we have a small group photo. Please stay where you are. Corporate communications, how did we plan a group photo? Maybe from the top to